welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Rita Joseph, candidate for the 40th District Council. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus
Beyond
TV.
Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. And like I said, I have a very special guest for you, and no stranger to the Beyond Focus family, Rita Joseph.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
You know what? We have to have you back.
Because
You're making so many waves just from the last time we had you, and even prior before that, when this was just an idea.
Exactly.
You were here, you were telling us, I'm going to run.
Yes.
I want to make a difference in the community. And we're like, okay, the next 2021 is the year. And it came. You had a vision, you had a plan, and you're living the plan.
Yes, I am. I'm excited to represent the community, the kids that I teach. I'm always saying that I'm going to represent them. It's their voice I'm carrying with me to City Hall and all of their issues, whether it's housing, whether it's education, police reform, criminal justice reform. I'm taking that with me.
I think you literally just recapped 2020 in a nutshell. And it's a good and it's a bad thing, because what the pandemic did was uncovered the housing problems.
Absolutely.
The digital problems. How many parents, I was speaking to somebody today, just helping her navigate a GoFundMe, because she's going through some medical issues, and she's like, if you could help with that. And I said, okay. And we're going through the process. And I'm like, you know what, this would be so much easier if you do it on a laptop or a desktop. And she's like, I don't have one. I was like, do you have a tablet? She said, no. And I'm just like, wow. The reality of how many people still do not, we take it for granted. I've got a computer, I've got a laptop, I've got this. I know so many people in my building who their phone is their hotspot so their kid could get onto the Google Classroom.
Absolutely. And we take that for granted. That I found out that a lot of people in my district didn't have access to basic internet.
Yeah.
And things I'm like, oh, I'm on Wi-Fi. Oh, let me put on my password.
It's too slow. We're complaining about the speed.
And people don't have none at all.
Yep.
And
so to hear you say that, I'm like, well, that's 2020 and part of 2021 in a nutshell. But having seen that and knowing that you represent that and your students, you're bringing all that to the race.
Yes, I'm bringing all that to the race.
How has that been? Have you gone back to work in the classroom and not a remote setting as yet?
I did remote, but I'm still teaching. My last day of teaching is tomorrow. I go on leave to run the campaign. I was teaching and still running the campaign because I made a commitment to these kids. The population that I teach are ENL students, which are English as a new language.
Oh, wow.
And they regress because in the pandemic, you acquire new language by speaking, socialization, interaction. They were isolated for almost a year. They didn't see their peers. And remember, native language is spoken at home. So English is not being spoken. So therefore, they didn't acquire a new language. So I said, when I saw them in September, I said, I can't leave them yet. So I stayed on while running a campaign full-time, working full-time, still running my home, still being a caregiver to my mom. But it was more important that I stay committed to them. So June, I told them I'm leaving to go run the campaign. I know every time I log into remote, they're like, did you win yet? Did you win? I'm like, no, I'm going to win when you tell your parents to vote for Miss Rita Joseph.
Absolutely. And that's important. What are some of the languages that are the native languages from the variation of your classroom, which kind of represent your district, too?
Absolutely. Arabic, Spanish. I have a few Bengali.
Yeah.
Urdu, not a lot, but I do have. Sometime I have Fulani as well. Spanish, Haitian Creole.
Yep. So that's an eclectic mix, and that makes you, for when you have to teach English as, I know it as ESL, but they've changed the name.
So many times.
It's
ENL, and then now they're working on MLL, which will be multi-language learners.
Oh. Learn new things every day.
That's right.
You have to come to work to learn. So.
That's right. That's right.
But it's interesting, you know, and this race for you, how do you feel? You know, you're 3/4 of the way in, because the primary, even though the general is going to be, you know,
In November.
in
Early
November.
voting starts June 12th, ends on the 20th, and the actual primary is June 22nd.
So let's talk about the importance of that primary race, because I hear so many people be like, I'm going to do it in November. I'm like, you know, the bulk of, like, it almost secures your spot.
Exactly. So I need people to go out early voting, whether you're doing early voting, in person, absentee. I need people to go out June 12th to the 20th. Cast your ballot. Rank me as your number one. June 22nd, rank me as your number one.
And
Because we have ranked choice
we
voting.
do have rank, and I was going to kind of explain that, or have you kind of give a deeper dive into that. So you pick your first person, and you could educate me a little bit on that too. So you pick your top 5, essentially.
Yes.
But still, only one person is going to be. Do they have, out of that ranking, are they going to narrow it down?
Yeah, they're going to narrow it
after?
down. Unless someone wins the night 51%. If there's no one that wins 51%, they keep redistributing the votes. Let's say somebody put me as number 2, so those votes go to me, and that person at the bottom, they all get eliminated, and they
Right,
start
so
redistributing the votes until there's a winner. So that's why I want everyone to rank me number 1.
Okay, that's so interesting. They decided to go with that, because
Yeah.
there's still ultimately going to be one winner.
One winner.
But why make people go through?
You don't lose the vote, so your friends, the votes keep redistributing to you. So if people put you as number 2, so you still have more votes to use.
Okay, I do see that. point.
Hopefully, we won't have that. June 22nd.
You get your 51%. It'll be
right off the
landslide.
bat, and then landslide, and that'll be it. But if not, I think they said by July 12th they'll know the final winner.
Oh, really?
Yes, because the machine does not tabulate it automatically. It has to be done manually, from what I understood, the article that came out about a week ago. So I'll be like this.
So technically, by June, you do not have to wait until the mass general election.
No,
for you to
you'll
know.
find out July 12th who's going on to November. If you win the primary in June, that's it. You pretty much secure the spot
You do.
for November. I'm excited.
That is exciting.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
What are some of the questions that your students ask you?
What does a city council member do, Miss Joseph?
That's a valid one, because there's a lot of adults who don't know.
Exactly. And I'm like, I create legislation. I have oversight into different agencies such as the police, the New York City Department of Education. I'm on land use, budget. I do budget also. I negotiate budget with the mayor and all that other stuff. And then I negotiate and bring resources back to the district that I represent as well.
What about discretionary funds? I've had some questions for people who have not-for-profits here in the city, and they're like, I need to get in contact with some of my council people, and I'm like, they have discretionary funds, and I was like, I'm actually going to be speaking to a potential council person a little bit later. Is that something that is available if
Yes.
someone reaches out with a good proposal to make something happen?
Yeah, if they have a 501c3.
Yep.
And if they don't, I always encourage you, if you know a really good non-for-profit, have them become your fiscal conduit until your papers are in order. Another non-for-profit can get the money for you and just distribute it to you, as
Yeah.
long as they're legal, good standing. Discretionary funding, then you have what I love, and I sit on the citywide committee participatory budget, where the district, the community members get to decide and vote on a project. And they have a $1 million to decide whether they want to put flowers, they want a new sidewalk, they want to upgrade a local gym at a school, but they get to decide and vote on the project themselves. So that's a wonderful thing about democracy.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, hold that thought. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So, Rita, let's talk about all these lovely endorsements
Yes,
that you have here, and some top-notch. I mean, $11.99.
Yes,
Top
healthcare
notch.
workers.
Healthcare workers, Tenants PAC,
Yes.
Haitian Women's Alliance,
Yes.
the Black Lives Matter organization. These are all very credible
Yes. And
especially
prominent.
1199 prominent people.
Yes.
What's the process of getting an endorsement?
Process is you fill out a questionnaire, and I have the joke all the time that when I get into city council, I'm writing legislation that the questionnaire should be shorter because sometimes they're about 17 pages.
17 pages?
Mm-hmm. And you have to fill it all out. They want to know everything.
Your blood type, what they want to know.
And then you go through an interview process. You usually sit in front of a panel, and they ask you questions. Some of them are tough questions. For example, 1199 interview was members. They didn't bring in no big honcho from the political side. They brought regular working members. They want to ask the council members.
So it could be a nurse from...
Yes, that's what they did. They brought a
Brookdale Hospital.
Yep. They brought them in because they wanted them to be part of the process, to see the person that's going to represent them. And I thought that was incredible. I thought it was a great way to have them participate in the process versus people always making decisions for them and not with them. So they were part of the process, which I thought was amazing. I have Jim Owls here, which is part of the LGBTQ plus A. I'm an ally of that community. So, yes, definitely. I have John Liu, who's state senator. He's also the chair of education in the state senate. So I was honored to have his support as an educator. So that was...
For sure. And that says a lot, not just to make it through that process.
Right.
But to gain these endorsements, kind of speak to what having that type of endorsement really means, because people at home don't always connect the dots. They're like, okay, she's endorsed by so-and-so. But what does that... The weight that it holds is significant.
Significant. It validates you. It says, you know what? I'm willing to work with this person because her and I, we share the same values. So I think that's what it says here. New York Kids PAC is an educational organization. They know I go in there and I will fight for children. I will fight for education, classroom sizes, social workers, nurses, mental health support for my kids coming back in September that are traumatized. So they support that. Tenants PAC, they know I will fight for... make sure there's enough affordable housing that 1 out of 8 of our students that live in the district are not sleeping in shelters anymore.
Yeah, that's a high number when you told us that. So you actually have students who live in a shelter.
Oh, yeah. I serve at least about 300 of them.
Wow.
And citywide, we have about 114,000 of them. I mean, borough-wide, all 5 boroughs, with Bronx having the highest numbers. So that bothers me. So that's why I'm here, to bring this to City Hall, to let them know that we can no longer allow our children to be raised in shelters. We have to do better.
How do you think we can make affordable housing a reality? Because right now, and even just walking through what they call this, the PLG now, which
it's PLG.
And I just laugh every single time I hear that. But, you know, it's a fancy term for, if you really know Brooklyn, you know it's always going to be certain things for everyone else. But you walk through and you see these luxury buildings or newer developments, and they're not targeting us.
No.
Because sometimes you'll see a building go up and it's full by the time the day one they open the doors.
Yes.
It's already, so I'm like, well, I didn't see.
I didn't get an invite. What happened?
I was like, how? Who? They're not talking to me.
No, they're not. And that's one of the things we talk about. We have to create affordable stocks. We have to create affordability, meaning not just say, oh, it's affordable housing, but it's like $3,000 a month. That's not affordable. Our working families in this district range from making $17,000 to $34,000. That's one group.
Is that a combined family income?
Sometimes it is combined. Sometimes it is one person, but they may have multiple children, so that's not. Once you're paying 30% or more of your income to rent, your rent burden. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Your rent burden. So you're struggling already. So we talk about this thing called AMI, area median income, all the time. I've always said I would love to see one just for the neighborhood that I plan for them to build in, that really reflects the people that live there, not the one that's on paper, because the one on paper doesn't make any sense, and it's not really talking to the people in the neighborhood. And we have to create more affordable housing. Not only affordable housing, one of the other things I would love to see is rollover from affording homes and really achieving the American dream, making homes affordable where people can become homeowners as well.
Yeah, I know.
So that's renters to homeowners. I would love to see that. I work with an organization called Neighborhood Housing Services, and they do first-time home buyer seminar. I would love to see more of that. Those are the kind of orgs I would love to keep funded so they can keep providing these kind of services to the community.
It's just there's no homes available in the price range in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. You have to go live out in Jersey or another state to afford. We have to make Brooklyn a little bit more affordable for families to stay here. And we have to keep them in their homes. Because of the pandemic, a lot of high eviction rates in Brooklyn, especially in this area. We need to try to keep them in their homes as well, so the numbers of people in shelters and homelessness are not going up. We keep them.
And what's interesting is even with that, you know, people were saying, oh, you can't be evicted during the pandemic. You know how many people?
Yes. During my canvassing, I saw a lot of marshal notices on doors, and I was just like, oh my God, this person got evicted. Where are they? Where did they go? What happened to them?
I know somebody in the Bronx right now whose building got sold.
Oh, wow.
And they just sent him a notice that said he has to leave by October. Or buy the place.
Oh, so they're turning it into a HDFC?
It got bought over by a new management.
And they want him to buy
they want everybody out or purchase the unit.
Is it as a co-op? Will they be co-owners? Okay.
Yeah. And it's just so disturbing to see them do that to people who have been there 15, 20 years renting. But it's a problem. It's a problem to see.
It's a major problem. So we need more stocks. We need to create more. They're talking about converting hotels that are underused or not being used anymore into affordable homes. So I know the controllers that's something they want to work on. I would love to hear the plan because I would love to bring some to my district as well.
But what's the time frame in terms of making all this a reality? Would this realistically happen during your tenure?
The funny thing with my tenure this year is I'll serve 2 years, and then I got to run again because of the redistricting, because of the census. So I'm hoping to serve out my full 8 years so I can get a lot done. I have a lot of work to do.
8, you can get some stuff done.
Yes.
2, I'm a little worried.
Absolutely.
2, I'd be a little worried, you know.
Recovery will be, day one, will be very important. COVID-19 recovery for the community. Small
Absolutely.
businesses are suffering.
We'll make
Jobs.
that happen.
Yeah, we got to get jobs too.
We'll hold that thought. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So Rita, you know, we're counting down. We're getting ready.
Yes, we are.
It's exciting. How are you staying grounded within yourself with all of this and everything going on and keeping that balance of wife, mother, educator, caregiver?
A lot of meditation, a lot of prayer. I listen to Deepak a lot. He's on my phone. I have the app, so whenever I feel like it's too much, I'll stop and meditate for a few minutes before I start over again.
Yeah, that's good.
Self-care is important, and I tell everyone to do that. Self-care. That's the only way you're gonna get through, because this has been a lot. This has been a trying year, traumatic. Everyone is traumatized, one way or the other.
Yeah.
One way or the other, you're traumatized. Whether directly or indirectly, you're traumatized.
You're absolutely right. You know, I get flashbacks to last year this time when I received some terrible news, you know, there are furloughs and layoffs and life's changing for you. And it's like, you imagine you just purchased your apartment a year before the pandemic. And it's like, you had it for 1 year, it's blissful, and then boom, 2020.
Yeah, 2020. And they had this meme that if 2020 was a wig.
Yeah, it would be like,
yes.
haywire.
Yes, that's exactly what she looked like. I was like, oh my God.
That's exactly what it felt like.
Yes, and it felt that way too. That's what people didn't understand. And it hit you fast. And it wasn't like you
There's
had
no
time to.
adjustment period.
Yes, it was like, yes, that's exactly what it was. Just like I say, you didn't have time to grieve with all these people passing away. And a lot of these funerals on Zoom, there was no time to process because you had to pick up and keep going.
Exactly. You're just pivoting the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Like, this is closed. Okay, boom. How do I do this? I gotta do takeout. I could, like, so many restrictions.
Yes.
Even being placed, like, we're not used to not socializing with people.
Correct.
Even the most antisocial person was like, all right, this is
too much. This is a lot. No trains, no taking the streets. If you were in the streets, you were so worried. When you came home, you sprayed everything.
Exactly.
Everything was sprayed down. And
you really change your whole mindset. You know, a little bit of paranoia.
A lot of paranoia.
For sure.
A lot of paranoia. You didn't want people coming to your home.
No, you don't want anybody coming over.
No, you got to call me before you come over, or we'll talk through the peephole. You don't have to come in.
It was definitely different. But I think, you know, we've made some good groundbreaking, you know, segue with everything. You have a vision, you have a plan, and I'm excited. You know, the 40th district really needs this. I mean, we all, too bad you're not in my district, but, you know, eventually it's going to start as 40th council district, and then it's going to...
Yeah.
There's plans.
There's other plans. Thank you. Yes, I will definitely continue the work. This is a journey, long time coming. A lot of people who were like, this is about time that you took this. I said nothing happens before it's time.
Absolutely.
So I'm ready to go in and fight for the issues that I believe in. And
200%.
1,000%.
How do we get in contact with you if anyone at home wants to support? There's still time. You know, funding is always nice.
Yes.
Human capital is always nice.
Yes, and volunteers. We need canvassing, people knocking on doors. I've been knocking on doors since February. I'm proud to say that this campaign had knocked on about 20,000 doors. So when I post my shoes on Twitter, they'll see. I follow the model of AOC when she was running. She posts her shoes. She said, "This is what my shoes look like." Because I walked and I knocked on the doors, letting the voters know Rita Joseph is here, and this is how you can support the campaign. People are happy to see me at their doors. Rain or shine, I'm out there 7 days a week.
Oh, still now?
Still now. Every morning I'm at the subway stations. 7 in the morning, you can see me at any given station, as long as it's in the district. This morning I did Cortelli Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, between 16 and 17. Was it? No. Yeah, 16.
Wow.
16, yep, 16 in
the
Marlboro.
BQ.
Yep, on the Q line. I was on Church Avenue. I was on Church and Nostrand. I was on Newkirk.
I missed you on Church and Nostrand. That's my train stop.
Yeah, I was there. Who was I with? I was with Senator Parker. Because, you know, he's running for city controller. So I was there with him. And we were just greeting people, letting them know, come say hi.
It's nice. You know, it's going to be a huge change because we're getting a whole clean sweep.
Yes, you're getting 35 new council members. And I believe in governance. I want to be present on day one for the community. I don't want no one to be looking for me. I want them to be tired of seeing me. Once a month, I already told the community, once a month we will meet to discuss issues that affects them. So I can take those issues back and fight at City Hall to make sure they get the resources. So that's what I'll be doing.
It's exciting, you know, and it's, like you said, it's part of the journey, it's part of the process.
Correct.
You know, it is a job.
Yes, it is.
It definitely is a job. You know, people sometimes, it's not a hobby. You have to do it. It's a labor of love. Like, yes,
Absolutely.
you'll be getting
paid. And it's
paid.
also calling. It's not you have to be in it for the people. And I'm in this for the people. I'm going in on behalf of the voters to be their voice at City Hall, to raise hell, to make sure they get their fair share of what the district deserves.
So you'll be at Brooklyn City Hall, like that area, or which?
City Hall. I have an office. I would have, if elected, I'll have an office at 250 Broadway, and then I'll have an office in the district.
In the district as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go to City Hall, have a fight, and then come to the district and do my other part of the work.
Show up and do your stuff.
Yeah, show up. Be present. And that's what matters. You have to be present for these people having faith. Once they send you, you work for them. I work for the voters.
And you're open to people coming, of course, with safety restrictions
of course.
all that stuff. But
of course.
People want to come in and say hello, meet you.
Yes. Constituent service, we promise to return phone calls or address a problem within 24 hours. That's our goal. Wow. We raising the bar.
That is raising the bar.
That's right.
That is definitely raising the bar. And you'll have a whole team.
Oh, yeah.
With you. Do you get to select your team, or certain things are going to be assigned to you?
I get to select my team. And I already started lining them up.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love that. When there's work to be done and things and things are blessed, you have to
And this year is even more magical. Is 21-21. We're trying to elect 21 women into city council, because if we don't, we'll have less women at the table. Out of the 51 body, there's only five councilwomen that is up for re-election that are not term limited. All the other women are leaving because they're term limited. So that's why I was very honored to have the endorsement of 21 and 21. It's a women's organization that are pushing the 21 initiative to get 21 women on city council. We're hoping the whole 35 will be all women, or all 51 of them will be women, but no. Wishful thinking. Just like RBG, she said, I would be happy if all 9 Supreme Court justices were all women.
I know, and bless her that she didn't get to see the final election. I know she would have actually been happy.
She would have been thrilled.
To the moon.
Yes.
Rita, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I want to jinx anything, but early congratulations.
Thank you so much. RitaJoseph.com. Learn about the campaign. RitaJoseph.com.
Thank you. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.